one more topic. This is college basketball oriented. Yay. But big win for those that say stick to college basketball at home. They're loving this right now. So Illinois, Ty Rodgers stuff. This was the big deal of the Purdue game. I wanted to have a longer conversation about it at some point. And Purdue just stuck Zach Edey on him. They did it from the game, the moment the game tipped. We thought they would do it at some point. We didn't know if Painter would come out and do it right away. They did it right away. It was obvious it worked. They had no answers. Zach Edey is one of one. He's the best center in the country. He's bigger than any player in college basketball. He can move at that side. Like, there's nobody else who can do that, right? With that said, all Zach Edey did was stand in the paint in this game against Ty. It wasn't even like he did anything to shut Ty down. It was just, hey, our center's going to stand in the paint and Ty's going to be completely ineffective. Mm-hmm. I hypothesized that I think other teams could probably do that. I don't think it had much to do with it being Zach Edey that limited Ty Rodgers in this matchup where they put a center on them. We've seen matchups stop players in the past. Like I mentioned it, Nick Stauskas was unstoppable one year, Big Ten Player of the Year. And there was a game against Indiana where Tom Crean put Yogi Ferrell on him, had him pick him up full court, just the smallest, quickest guy getting his shit. Nick was really uncomfortable. The next 2 weeks, it was the whole, like, that's how you beat Stauskas. You just put your quickest guy on him, your little guy. Then Nick figured it out a week later, like, oh, I can just shoot over these dudes. And that shit was dead. So is Ty Rodgers, is Brad Underwood going to have a counter for this? Or is this something that every single team in the Big Ten can replicate by just putting their center on Illinois' point guard?
So simply put, I think it's very replicable. Yeah, good. There we go. Very replicable. And to me, I assume that most coaches definitely look at other teams' success and find out the way they can make their team incorporate that same style. And, just to put this in like Michigan State versus Illinois terms on Thursday, my first move would be put Mady Sissoko on Ty Rodgers. I think that should be, if that's who's on the court, I think that's what you should do. And have Mady do the same thing that Zach, and just stay in the paint because, we saw what it looks like and we saw that it worked. Now, the one positive or good thing for Illinois is that they have a counter for it. Like, they have the personnel to counter teams doing that against them. The unfortunate part about that is it comes at the expense of Ty. So I'm not really sure how they navigate that. Also, to be the devil's advocate of this, there's also a way that Ty could beat it as well, I think. Like Zach Edey was sagging extremely far. Like, I'm not saying you could make a play around him, but maybe there's like a floater he could add to his game or something, like a little free throw line push shot or just even a semi jump shot. I mean, we're looking forward to next season, but I truly believe, given Illinois' player development, given Brad, what they do over there at Illinois, that Ty's going to come back next year with a semblance of just an elbow jumper, just something to keep the defense honest. And I think that'll unlock his game a little bit. I'm not saying he's got to be a knockdown, but you got to at least be like, have a guy look at you when you catch the ball. Right now, no one even looks at you because you can't shoot the ball. So it's something I think is replicable. God, that word's beating my ass. And I think that I would be surprised if like teams like Michigan State don't try it or other teams in the Big Ten. But like I said, I think that Underwood can combat that with other personality has.
Okay. Can you say the word personnel?
Personnel. I don't really emphasize the now. I said personnel.
You say personnel.
Personnel.
You say like person Mal, like my wife is Mal. You say personnel.
No, this different. Like,
and then this is personnel.
Don't take this personal.
Yeah.
But now I'm talking about personnel.
But like there's personality and then there's personnel. And you've always leaned into personnel. Well, I think it's personnel. I'm just just trying. We're doing that.
All right, TJ.
We're doing that. Yeah. So, okay, a lot of thoughts. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I disagree with hey, he's gonna get a jumper. He'll work on it, I'm sure. I don't ever like guys that have to add a jumper in their third year of college basketball. I don't like if you haven't added a jumper by now. What do we think? He's just never worked on shooting.
Well, this is the one thing I think Ty was so focused on the point guard thing and improving those, like maybe those skills that maybe the jumper went by the way. I don't know. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt.
What was he focused on the first 19 years of his life? Like,
I mean, he was. Well, the thing is, like when I saw Ty play in high school, his jumper wasn't that bad. That's the thing.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I would buy like maybe it's gotten worse just because he's unwilling to shoot it, but like I don't know. He's all right from the line occasionally. Like it doesn't look like a completely broken jumper. You're right. He could attempt some shot. I just don't think it's ever going to be like Ty's got a shot now. I don't think that's happening. I think he would have had it by now. The other thing I don't think is happening is I don't think coaches in the Big Ten are going to be as willing to try this as they should be. I do strongly believe pretty much no matter who your center is, this works against Ty because I don't think Ty has the counters you talked about. Like, oh, does he have a little floater? No, he doesn't. If you watch Ty Rodgers, to me, anytime I've seen him have success playing the quote unquote booty ball style, he needs patience for this to work. Like, and it works against smaller defenders. It absolutely works. But Ty is not like a quick twitch blow by you guy. Like, it's not a, oh, I'm going to attack a closeout and finish quickly. It's like, give me 10 seconds and I will go through you if you're smaller than me. That hasn't been happening. And it can't happen. Like he can't spend 10 seconds backing down a 6'10" guy. He just can't do it. So I think teams should be doing this every game. I think it will work every game. I don't think any of the effectiveness really much at all had to do with Zach Edey. Zach Edey was great and he's tougher than other guys, but like I don't think it would happen. I think it would work with lesser centers. With that said, I don't think Tom Izzo's going to do this for a second. Like we think Tom's creative enough to do that.
I mean, it's not. It's the thing is, it's not even creative though. It's just a small wrinkle.
I don't think Tom has that in his bag these days. No offense. I think he's a great coach, but I think Tom's like, oh yeah, that's their point guard. We're going to guard him with my point guard.
I could definitely see that.
Roll your sleeves up, screw metrics. Like, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like, and I don't honestly, it's not just Tom. I don't think there's a lot of coaches in this league who are willing to do what Matt Painter did. So,
Pride is an MFer.
it is an MFer. But if teams do set it aside, I think it's going to work. That's my thoughts.